Silent snowflakes drift effortlessly, coating a small wooden cabin in a sheet of ivory velvet. Oak trees lit by the moon's glow tower over the home like silent giants, their bark prickly and rough. A steady wisp of smoke ribbons into the sky from the cabin's chimney. A lone wolf slowly weaving through the trees. Its hot steam slowly raises from its mouth, open and bloody, silently gasping for more air. Its eyes tracing across the idyllic landscape, pressing the freshly fallen snow. The wolf crouches low, readying for a pounce. From behind the fallen log, a furry tail speckled in snow pops out, curious and fluid. With eyes unwavering and its breath slowing, the lone wolf slowly reaches out with its front paw, cautiously, with stealth, gently pushing the malleable frost beneath each step. Suddenly, piercing the frozen tranquility is a loud blast. The furry-tailed creature speeds away as red gore and viscera explode from the wolf, her entrails sprayed across the flesh snow. Gurgling blood, the wolf whimpers in pain to itself as it tries to stand back up, to no avail. A hunter, adorned in white camouflage, slowly approaches the scene, his rifle barrel still smoking. The gravely wounded wolf turns to the hunter, its mouth now agape, searching for the last bit of air. He raises his rifle in her direction, needlessly aiming through the crosshairs of his scope, and attempting to call back for her pack. It is quickly silenced by the blast of the hunter's rifle. Humankind is the most invasive species on Earth. Their greedy hands stealing at whatever is in reach. And as they matured through the brief time they survived on Earth, they consumed. And like an antibody fighting a virus, nature regained its domain. The year was 2046, when the Logara pathogen invaded the Earth's ecosystem. Seemingly benign to all humans at first, the virus perverted DNA structure of almost every living thing in Earth's ecosystem. Once edible plants and animals, now mutant and insidiously toxic to humans. The Earth's very atmosphere slowly turning caustic and vile. Facing a potential extinction crisis, humankind banded whatever resources it had left together to create 3 colony spaceships in hopes of surviving. The Seklum, the Axis, and the Xenostar. Each ship had its destination in the galaxy. Humankind was trying to sure their bet by spreading itself as far as it could. The Seklum toward Venus, the Xenostar towards Mars, and the Axis towards Jupiter. And leaving only the poor and desolate on the surface of the dying Earth, the humans spread across the stars, parasites searching for new hosts. Surmounting all odds against them, humankind succeeded in their efforts. After years in cryostasis, both the Seklum and the Axis were able to reach their destinations without major issues. But the Xenostar, however, disappeared without a trace. Scouting parties from both colonies searched the orbit and surface of the planet, but there were no sign of the ship or colonists. Convinced it was sabotaged by Earth's old political leaders, the colonists on planet Jupiter revolted, declaring themselves their own governing principality. Named after their leader, the Republic of Zeon, waged in an interstellar war with the Earth Federation for their autonomy and right to govern themselves. And after years of conflict, the Zeon forces developed, in secret, a weapon capable of extreme destruction. Serving as a giant robot carapace, the Zaku mobile suit can be piloted with great lethality, utilizing a customizable array of weapon choices spanning from the most massive electromagnetic gauss cannons to beam sabers that can split spacecraft in a single strike. Long gone were the days of shooting long-distance missiles and waiting for it to hit the target. Combat became once again more personal, akin to an old dueling samurai betwixt a field of straw. Piloted by Master General Marcus Gunfrey, the Zaku Class X and his squadron of other mobile suits were able to overcome the Earth Federation's newly antiquated spacecraft whipping. The mobile suits were more maneuverable than the jet fighter could ever be, acting as if it were an extension of the pilot itself. And the Zaku mobile suits struck fear into the soldiers of the Earth Federation. With it, Zeon was able to fully win its independence from the Earth Federation. If it weren't for the assassination of the general in 2123, Zeon would have continued its dominance over the Earth Federation. A ceasefire was signed a few weeks after, and the zone between Venus and Jupiter, housing both Earth and Mars, became a neutral zone that no side was able to cross without threat of starting another war. Named after the very ship that was the catalyst of the conflict between them, the Xeno Expanse was home to people who preferred living out of the jurisdiction of both governing republics. Often raiding supply lines and trading lines, pirates found refuge in the Xeno Expanse, so much so that they banded together and created a faction of their own called the Crossbowed Vanguard. Working with whoever paid most, the Vanguard was ambivalent towards their contracts. And 3 years had passed during the ceasefire between Earth and Zeon, allowing time for the Earth Federation to develop their own version of mobile suits called GUNDAMs, or general purpose utility non-discontinuity augmentation maneuvering weapon systems. As tensions began to rise, a distant and familiar signal is heard throughout known space. The Xenostar colony ship suddenly appears orbiting the atmosphere of Mars. Seemingly dead, the ship does not respond to any hails. Both sides, weary and apprehensive at the start of a new costly war, negotiate the prospect of sending a conjoint research team to Xenostar itself. Acting as an intermediary, the Crossbone faction was employed to escort the science team to the vessel, making sure no faction interests were being favored over the other. You hear darkness all around you. You see darkness. You hear a beeping, beep, 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 beep. And in front of you is the alarm panel LED. Right now, you are in a capsule where normally in space stations, people are housed. Do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, my name is Shivers, and I grew up in the Zeon Empire, and when I came of age, I joined up with their forces. After basic training, I quickly realized that the values that they stand for are not the values that I hold, and me, along with a few others, scheduled a coup to make our escape. Unknowing to them, I stayed behind to help any other people that I can within our colony escape. And I also helped me bide my time to steal a prototype weapon that they've been working on.
Yes, you're finding yourself now at Space Station 74. It is an older model space station that's kind of like a handy-down in regards to the Earth Federation and Zeon's Federation type of technology level. It's kind of derelict. Uh, the crew quarters that you're currently at houses small capsules. There's about 40 to the wall that you're currently in. You're on the bottom level. Luckily, you traded that with a few others for a few credits. Um, the station itself houses your faction, the Crossbone Vanguard. There, you guys essentially handle the not only the business aspects of running a space station and faction, but also for recuperation purposes. There's a cantina. There's a cafeteria. Essentially, this handles the day-to-day lives for the people that actually run into the faction itself. Currently, right now, Shivers, you are in your capsule. It's very compact. You're currently lying down. You're lying down on a foam bed with a few rolls. It's not too comfortable, but it's passable. You've been sleeping in the space station for about a year or so, doing odd jobs for any merchant that would come to the space station. There's some trade that happens here, but the majority of the trade that happens between Earth Federation and Zeon is another space station that's close to SS-74. That space station is called the Orion Gate, and there, essentially, it's like a black market of sorts. But currently, right now in SS-74, you see the LED in front of you, and it's blinking. Deet, 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 deet. You didn't have any alarm set for today. It seems to be someone trying to contact you.
Okay, is this alarm like a part of the like little pod that I'm staying in, or is it like a communication
Yes,
device?
it's the pod that you're in now. It's on the currently you're lying down on the foam bed, and directly in front of you is essentially a LED panel that you can touch. You know, it's touch based, and you can use that for essentially for TV, for anything you wish. It could be used as an alarm system as well. It's currently overhead you, and it's like something is trying to essentially contact you because as you see the transmission logo that's emblazoned with green letters, transmission is flashing.
Okay, I sit up and I kind of like crack my neck and like make sure I look presentable, and I answer the transmission.
On the other side, you see Alex. You know Alex as kind of like an acquaintance of yours. He's essentially the person who once was at the academy in Zeon with you. He escaped before you did, and he was able to bring a couple of students with him to SS-74. There, you and him and a few other students were able to create the faction. He's on the other side of the transmission. You see he has bogus features with a large scar across his nose. He wears a beanie over his head to hide his pointed ears, a telltale sign of someone who has been born on Jupiter. Due to its low gravity, people who have been born in Jupiter's atmosphere have facial features that are very reminiscent to Elvish. You know, they have very long faces. They have long ears due to the stretching of the low gravity. You yourself have long ears that you have cut them off.
Mm-hmm.
You see him. He has his arms crossed. He has a coy smile, and he says,
What's taking you so long, Shivers? I invited you to the cantina for a drink at 800 hour.
Alex, it's my day off, and you know how much I cherish my alone time.
I just thought since, I'm getting you work and all, but I see how it is. You see, I like to unwind before the job, and this job that I've lined up for both of us, it's gotten me a little worried.
Worried? We've done countless jobs together, Alex. What's there to worry about?
This one's different. I'll speak more about it at the cantina. Please, in person.
All right, well, give me about a half hour to get myself cleaned up, and I'll be right there.
you see a small smile spread across his lips. You could roll insight for me. Just go on your character sheet and roll an insight.
Okay. Insight. Where is insight?
That would be a skill. I think it would be
Okay.
around perception in that area.
I rolled a 8-5.
Okay, so let me explain these two numbers for you. In
Yes.
5e, there's something called advantage and disadvantage. Essentially, depending on how you go about a situation, be it roleplay or combat, you would get advantage or disadvantages for stuff. You being a rogue, for instance, doing sneak attacks relies on you getting advantage, and in order to get advantage, it'd be like flanking attacks. It'd be I know for rogues, the person that you're fighting just has to be engaged with someone in order for you to get advantage. But these two dice, we roll 2 of them. You get the highest number, and that would be the advantage. For disadvantage, you get the lowest number.
Okay, so right now
But
I
in
would
this
have
case,
the advantage.
no, in this case, I didn't call for advantage or disadvantage, so we just take
Okay.
the left number,
The
which
left
is
number,
an 8.
okay.
Yes.
Which
You
is
see-
still
you see-
terrible.
Nah, it's
Right?
still pretty good. You see, he has, as he spreads his small smile, beads of sweat are going down his brow. There's something about this mission that's troubled him before. You know Alex to be a person who doesn't shy away from danger. You know, he's the first one along with you to step into the thick of things. He's not one to think before he acts. He's a very brash person, and for him to show him being worried about something to you is definitely a big sign.
Okay. All right, well then I'm going to make haste almost to get ready and get there.
On the in the pod that you're currently in, there's a small drawer to be right before the exit of the pod itself. You pull the lever, and it opens up the drawer, and there you have a folded array of clothes. You quickly put them on, and you jump out of the. Do you want to leave the pod?
Yeah, I mean, is that all I have in there? Is there anything else?
You do have normally being as a pilot yourself, you do have a data pad. Essentially, you use that to connect with various forms of technology that's located not only in your mobile suit, but also in features in this spaceship as well. Via USB cable, you're able to hack into something. For instance, this pad,
Okay.
you pull it, you take it with you. Essentially, It's the mobile phone of our era. You know, it doesn't leave your side. There,
Okay.
you're also
And
able to communicate with people as well.
And it's pretty small, I'm guessing.
Yeah, it's about the size of your palm. As any any more smartphone would look, except for the small cable that seems to be dangling from the system itself.
Okay.
You grab that,
yeah.
and you also have a gun too.
All right. Yeah, I'm gonna grab the gun and kind of like tuck it in the back of my pants.
All right. The gun itself, it's a kind of electromagnetic rounds. It
Okay.
has a few like futuristic casings to the gun itself. The gun shoots pressurized rounds that are electrically charged, so they're able to penetrate basic forms of hull and metal. Very strong pistol itself.
Okay, cool. So kind of like something that you would see in like Mass Effect or something.
Yeah, pretty much. I'm thinking more like a Blade Runner.
Oh, okay, cool.
Blade Runner type gun.
Cool.
Well, in any case, you because you have a holster, you know, you put it in your holster.
Oh, okay.
As any space pirate would, I imagine.
Well, I would like to have it concealed if I can.
Oh, you want to conceal it? All right.
Yeah. That's why.
Easy enough. You have a jacket on, so you put it in your backside. You hide it in your back pants. Easy enough to conceal. You don't need to roll anything for that.
Okay.
Do you want to leave your pod?
Yeah.
Okay. You jump out of the pod, and there awaiting you is your Haro friend. The small features you have grown accustomed to, blue and white, and orb-like. This floating robot jumps up at your presence as you leave the how do you say it? The pod itself. The small orb-like robot with blue and white features. Its face is a constantly moving gyro, which opens and closes with each word it utters. It slowly at first lifts up to your how do you say this? Your headlight to your height, to meet your gaze.
And
Shivers! Good morning to you!
this is fucking awesome. Okay, I can curse, right?
I've known you to curse a lot, Shivers. And that's fine with me.
How's it going, buddy?
All going good. System's 100%. All charged here.
That sounds good. Come on, we're heading to the cantina.
All right.
We gotta meet Alex.
All right, the small orb, robotic creature is following you at tail. You're walking through the space station itself. Like I said, it's a little rundown, derelict. There are some systems that are sparking. There are some engineers that are, attempting to fix the repairs themselves. You just pass by them, concerned with the meeting that you have with your friend Alex.
Mm-hmm.
This takes us to the cantina itself.
Oh. Look at that.
So you enter the elevator pad that quickly takes you to the cantina floor. There you're meted with with other patrons and a loud cacophony of music, of electric music and chatter, and various states of drunkenness is heard throughout this cantina itself.
Mm-hmm.
You approach here and you pass by the security guard who's behind a kind of like a robotic mask of sorts, shielding to hide his identity. He's there acting as the guard for the canteen itself. He recognizes you and he lets you pass by. He waves you through. And there
Okay.
you see Alex standing at the bar itself.
Wow.
He has a drink in hand. And he's attempting to talk to the bartender in front of him. She seems a little bit busy about dealing with the other patrons of the bar itself. He feels a little demotivated by this, and he just sits there with his drink. He's unaware of your presence.
All right, so I approach him and I just say, Alex, don't you know I'm the one with the looks? And I put my hands on his shoulders and kind of like give him a little shake, like, how's it going?
Roll perception.
Perception. 20 to 17.
As you approach him, you notice his drink, and he hasn't taken one sip. He's been nursing it for a while. The beer that he has in hand, normally they come really cold. This one looks very warm. He's been here for a while. As you cup his shoulder, for a brief second, he almost jumps. And he looks over to you. Ah, Shivers, what are you doing? Sneaking up on me.
You know that's my specialty. You're jumping like a greenhorn. What got you so worried? I mean, look at you, haven't you touched your drink? And I lift it up to go take a sip, and I'm like, oh, how long has this been sitting here? It's so warm.
Yeah, well. Listen, there's something about this job that just doesn't feel right. We've been hired by the Earth Federation in order to escort them to a place in the Xenostar. See, they found a signal.
Signal? Signal to what?
I don't know. It's some sort of old colony ship, almost 300 years old. It's strange because it just showed up out of nowhere.
Are you talking about the ships that they sent out when Earth was failing? And the two returned and the one never came back?
Yeah, well,
Is that
the one that didn't come, the one that disappeared, came back, all right?
and what's got
Well,
you
in
so
any
worried
case-
about?
In any case, what's gotten me so worried about it? The Earth Federation is paying us a lot of money, more than I'm even comfortable about accepting.
I never known you to turn down some money. How much is on the table?
Over 2 million credits. You normally in this type of economy and whatnot, the credits themselves are not too inflated. For 100 credits, for instance, can get you a lot of things in this type of galaxy. For instance, the normal fighter jet that'd run you about 230 credits itself. So, for a job to offer 1 million credits is something that's just unheard of.
I like almost like knock his drink over when I hear the amount. You know, knowing anything about the Earth Federation, that type of money, they ain't expecting us to pay. They ain't expecting to pay it. They're expecting us to die. What's the details of this job?
Well, we are to meet up with the ship Lazarus, and it's supposed to come to the space station tomorrow. That's when we're gonna meet up with someone called Mr. M. Apparently, the lead researcher of the team itself. This
Mr. M?
yeah, Mr. M. Suspicious, huh?
Let me guess.
I've
he's another
never heard a name someone called that.
Yeah, I bet he's one of these other lunatics running around with a mask on too.
Well, in any case, this just feels like a trap to me.
Do we have any support, or is it just us?
You feel your robotic companion bump at your shoulder.
Support? I thought I was the only support you needed there.
I'm sorry. What's his name again?
GAO. Or
GAO.
Gao.
Gal.
All right, you know what? What do you think would be a good name for this guy? Tex?
Tex. I like Tex. Just because of his voice, it seems very fitting.
All right, we'll change it to Tex. I like that. The small Haro, he kind of like bumps into you, reminding you that he's flying right beside you. And Alex, he looks to you, and he says, "Well, I asked Mary if she could bring her mobile suit and help us out. She's currently going. She has another job to do, so it looks like it's just us three."
2 million credits. Just 3 men. Well, at least we don't have to split the winnings with a large number of people. When we meet this Mr. M tomorrow, anything? You have any intel on him? Is he trustworthy?
From what I've heard, the man is a renowned scientist in the Earth Federation. Squeaky clean record for all I know. The people I've sent to essentially, check the lead, make sure it's legit. They've all told me. They all told me it's legit. It's just odd for the Earth Federation to be putting up this much money, after the war and whatnot. You see, I heard that they spent a lot of money during their fight against Zeon. I was even tempted at joining them. But, I'm just done with all that political bullshit.
I was gonna say, a Zeon boy like you taking up with the Earth Federation? My hair might turn white if I saw that. My question is this. If this is so precious to them, why send 2 space pirates and a Haro to retrieve it?
Well, this is something I didn't want to tell you, but the main reason why they came to us is because we are from Zeon. They have a couple of researchers that are from Zeon themselves. It's kind of like a conjoint research mission or whatever. And I know that, we're the government of Zeon still looking for us and whatnot, but I figure if you stay in your mobile suit, or if we put an attempt to hide what we look like, or at least what you look like, you're more infamous than me, stealing their own prototype suit and everything.
Well, if they know that we're from Zeon, then They know exactly who we are, and that almost tells me that we have no choice but to do this job.
You think they're blackmailing us?
I mean, it's been how long since we left? And not one person knew. I mean,
What-
you do your best with that beanie, but and I like pull my hair back and I just show I left that life behind me the moment I left that colony. I have no trace of going back to Zeon. I mean, that prototype, nobody even knows about the prototype. So this conversation with Mr. X would be very telling.
You know what's funny is when I was writing all this stuff, I kept on saying Mr. X too. But it's Mr. M.
Mr. M.
Yeah. I don't know.
Mr. M,
I keep
Mr.
thinking
M.
Mr. X because I guess Resident Evil or whatever. But in
Yeah,
any
yeah,
case,
yeah. Mr. M. Mr. M. This
in any case,
conversation.
in any case, yes. I just hope that, you know, when I asked you about this job, I was worried about bringing you on, you know, being as infamous as you are. You know, yeah, I know that you giving up all your connections to Zeon, those assholes. You know, I don't even like them either. $2 million. So for 2 million credits, let's see. I do a lot of things, and you know that'd really go to fixing up the place here. SS-74. He motions over to the deckheads. You can see that they're sparking, dirty, neglected. The normal folk at the cantina don't really care, you know. As long as there's cheap beer and alcohol, they're satisfied. But Alex, he motions to the broken bulkhead, and he says, "I want to fix this place up, make it a place, you know, that we could be proud of." With $2 million credits, we can do a lot.
Well, then I guess let's do it. And Shivers kind of like puts his hand out to like grab his like forearm, and it's like a handshake they've done very often in the past.
He grabs at your arm. His palm is a little sweaty. Kind of coats your jacket cloth a little bit, damps it. But in any case, he reciprocates the handshake. Grabs
Shiver
at you well, assuringly.
Shiver goes to the bartender. 2 shots.
You see, she pulls behind the counter itself, two small glasses, and pours this viscous green liquid into both of them. On the house for a couple of heroes.
Shiver downs it, and they both. He gives him a head nod to Alex.
Alex takes a swig too, and he drinks the rest of the beer, the warm beer he has, and slams it on the table. Enough of this. This ain't me. It's all this planning and whatnot. I'm just. Let's see what this meeting with Mr. M entails.
When's he expected to be here?
Well, tomorrow morning.
Well, is there anything we need to do to prepare? Should we start making the rounds, checking our suits? When does
You know what?
when is it supposed to jump off?
He looks over to you. How about you know, just to get the juices going. We got some time, you know. How about we do a race?
A race?
Yeah, you know. You
still
see,
trying to beat me?
Yeah, yeah, I'm always trying, you know. But one day I'm gonna get there. You see, a coy smile spread across his lips. You and Alex, have always tried to, had this type of relationship, a competitiveness between the both of you. It kind of like strives you to, essentially, be the best of yourselves. In any case, he looks over to you. Yeah, let's how about we race? I have my my fighter jet in the docking bay. You and your prototype. Maybe we could race. See who's let off some steam.
Let's go. You're on.
All right.
But before we do this, are we gonna do a little friendly wager?
Friendly wager, of course. What kind of a man would I be without? And he pulls out without a friendly wager. And he puts it onto the table. You see, it's a data pad itself, and there you can see his bank account, kind of information. There you can kind of like sync your data pads in order to bring up this app that's kind of like a dueling of sorts. I'm going to wager. Let's see, about 5 credits.
5 credits, that's it?
You're killing me. You're killing me.
Let's do
You
20.
See, 20? Fine, that's an easy 20 for me. He and he inputs the information into the data pad, and you see the app bring up onto your smart device as well, and there you accept the wager. You guys head towards the docking bay, and you see as you enter the docking bay itself, there you see your impressive Zaku prototype machine, your Zeon prototype machine. You stole it before they aptly named it, so I'm not sure if you want to name it yourself. However, the machine is large and grand. It takes the form, humanoid form. The shoulder pads are bladed and large. The mobile suit itself of a dark blue color with a pink glowing eye. There, it's massive in form. You and Alex walk along this loading deck that's risen up to the shoulder height of the mobile suit itself. Both of you are walking by the mobile suit. You stand and to admire it. He stands and walks beside you. Do you ever decide to name the thing?
Name it. You know me with names. Never cared for them. I just been calling it the 01 because that was the number that they put on it.
You're a simple man. I like that about you. Don't ever change, Shivers.
Well, you know me. You give something a name, that's something for someone to look for.
He walks by. You want to get into your mobile suit? What do you want to do? Right now, you're in the loading deck, and he's standing. Both of you are standing on like this loading gate that's risen up to the shoulder height of your mobile suit. There's a ladder system that you're able to climb up and to get in there if you'd wish.
Can I do like a perception check to see what the current state is of my mobile suit? Like if there's
Sure.
any like pre-existing damage to
Go
it.
ahead and roll perception. Yeah.
It's a 17 or 20.
So, you keep your mobile suit in great condition. You essentially understand its value. It's almost like an extension of yourself. You hold it to high regard, and it shows. The suit is immaculate. It's shiny and clean, with great detail. It's metallic surfaces are polished and shiny. The suit itself has some telltale signs of battle around the fist and hands area. There's some scarring at the metallic plates itself. But
Mhm.
apart from that itself, it's a very immaculate and intricate looking machine. Its dark blue almost shines in the docking bay's overhead lighting.
All right, I take a moment to just like appreciate how far I've come and like the fact that this is like my mobile suit. And I look over
Yeah,
at Alex.
you've had this mobile suit for about 3 or 4 years or so. Ever
Okay.
since you escaped from the ZDF, the Zeon Defense Force Academy. There you stole this prototype, known for its ability to bend space itself. It's when it was stolen, it was rightly sought for, and you had to take a few precautions in order to effectively eliminate it from the sight of Zeon. You changed the color to dark blue. You were able to change its registry information, so if anyone were to scan it, they wouldn't be able to detect that it's a Zeon device. And you have shored up its technological capabilities as well. It has safeguards to any remote hacking attempts.
Nice. So yeah, I take a look at it and I look over at Alex and I say, "Don't you wish you just stayed around for a little bit longer so you had a chance at taking this?"
You and your mobile suit always shoving it in my face. Not all of us could have mobile suits. And you know what? And he looks over and you see on the other side of the docking bay a very aggressive looking fighter jet with massive gun barrels underneath its both of its wings. I don't need a mobile suit. You see, I'm an old-fashioned type of guy. This I could beat you with easy.
I like give him a grin and say, "Well, let's just find out." And then I go and I hop into my mobile suit.
All right, you climb up the ladder system, press a few inputs into your data pad. It wirelessly connects with your mobile suit, and the cockpit opens up. You stand into the oh, you know what? I actually have a sound effect for this. Cool. You get into the mobile suit. The cockpit itself has a leather seat where there you could sit, and there's two almost joystick-like controlling rods that you grab up a hold of, almost like a motorbike of sorts, like a handlebar system, except it's split in the middle. So each one is kind of like a lever for each arm. These control the movements and essentially the battle of using this suit. They act as an extension of yourself. You sit into the suit. You input the information into the data pad, and the cockpit slides down, and the how do you say this? The hatch that's currently open slides down, and the system starts to turn on. The LED around you starts to bright up. This bright blue electrical light as the systems start to come on.
Yeah, so I go through my my startup process, and I'm checking all the engines and all like the joints and everything, making sure it's functioning great. And then I yell out to Tex. I go, "You gonna come out and watch?"
Shivers, you want me to come in my mobile suit too? I thought you guys were just racing.
Yeah, come on up here. We could use you if there's a photo finish, although I doubt that'll happen.
Okay.
You see the small Harrow kind of float off. He was on the loading deck as well. He slowly approaches his mobile suit, which is currently kind of like standing beside yours as well. It's a few meters away. He floats off to that direction, and you see him load into that mobile suit. The hatch opens up and closes. You see his systems are starting to come on. The mobile suit that he's in currently, it's an older model. You see that he has a large shield for his mobile suit. The shoulder pads are almost like large circular bulbous-looking bulbs. The chassis of the robotic mobile suit is bulky and seemingly impenetrable. The mobile suit itself is same height as your mobile suit, the O1, and he has a massive shield, a circular pattern with a red coating around its edge. You see that the systems are starting to come on, and a large red orb slowly dims on as the system comes on. And there, in your comm channel, you hear on the other end,
Tech systems have been activated. I'm here in my mobile suit. We heading out?
Alex,
Yeah.
you ready?
Yeah, Tex, I'm ready to go. Yeah, let's head out. You see, the flight attendants and engineers that are in the loading deck. They have electrical flags, and signals that are able to effectively lead both you and Tex to a loading docking bay. There, you move your mobile suit in its loading bay, and you see these mechanical arms. They link up to your mobile suit's feet. Ka-choo, ka-choo, ka-choo! And they load up, and they link up to Tex's mobile suit's feet as well. Here in the cockpit where you're in now, you see in the LED panel, launch, and then launch with a question mark, and you see it's a button that you have to press. Essentially, that would launch you from the landing pad. Or the
Okay,
docking pad. You want to press it?
let's rock and roll.
Hell yeah. You press the launch pad, and then you feel the G's, the force, as you like almost shoot up vertically from your docking pad. Both you and Tex into space. There you're floating. You release the docking mechanisms, and you float into space. Both you and Tex are now fully autonomous in the space. You see Tex with his massive shield. He slings it on his back. Both his arms are now free, and he takes almost a distance from both you and Alex. You see Alex with his fighter jet. He has swung it around, and it's almost eye level with your massive mobile suit now. The fighter jet itself is smaller than your mobile suit, about the size about your shoulder to your head. I don't know how much of a distance that would be, but the ship itself is about 40 feet. Your mobile suit around 90 feet. In any case, he levels the fighter at your eye line, and over the transmissions you hear,
Are you ready to do this? Just a quick one around that asteroid over there, and back.
All right, have Tex do the go. And I
Okay.
like ready my hands on the throttle and everything.
Sounds good. I need you to roll athletics.
Athletics. That is a 13 or a 14. Is that how you want me to tell you too? Like give you the two numbers?
No, you can just tell me the left one.
The left one? All right, a 13.
Yeah, I'll tell you if you got advantage or disadvantage or whatnot.
Okay. Yeah, 13.
13? All right, cool.
Mhm.
So both you line up with Alex at in an impromptu starting line, kind of made by this asteroid, this small asteroid that's floating in your direction. Both you and Alex use that as the starting line, and you see Tex. He flies back near the space station as well, just watching the affair. And you hear over the intercom,
Wow, this seems to be quite the sight. Good luck, gentlemen. Y'all need me to count that down for y'all? Are y'all alright?
Nah, Tex, we need you to count down. Or I won't hear the end of it how I started before. Go.
all right. With knuckles white, you grab at the levers that propel your mobile suits, and over the intercom you hear,
Okay, gentlemen. 3, 2, 1, go!
and both you and Alex unleash your throttles, blasting forward towards this small asteroid about 200 or so feet away from you. You unleash your blaster jets from behind, propelling you forward. And for a brief moment, both you and Alex's ship are head to head, but you start to pull ahead forward, and you bound around the asteroid right before Alex gets there. I need you to roll one more athletic.
Athletic. That is a 10.
Okay. Both as you bound around the asteroid itself, using your navigational thrusters in order to turn quickly and expertly, you blast ahead. You slightly. Let me roll one more time. Uh-oh. Slightly, you see Alex start to pull ahead. He's starting to gain purchase on you. I need you to roll one more athletic as he's getting right close to you.
5.
Do you want to do anything to cheat? No? If any case, he's going to pull ahead.
Can I do that? I apologize for Glenn meowing. Can I do my face step to go ahead?
Sure.
Is
So
there
for
anything
the-
I have to?
For the phase step itself, you do not need to roll anything as it is a spell. Or
Okay.
let me see. Let me see. Let me read this real quick. Yes, it is a racial trait that we're applying to your guy. The mobile suit itself, you're able to phase out and it's essentially travel up to 20 feet or 15 feet using your racial. We're gonna kind of apply this to your mobile suit, like we said before. You could do this 3 times every short rest. Essentially, you have to reboot your kind of like the phase core system, which is the prototype computer system that you have installed in the mobile suit, the phase core. There, you need to essentially reboot it after 3 attempts using this phase step. But yeah, you're able to easily do it. You don't need to roll anything for that.
Okay.
And you
Yeah, that's
pull
what I wanna
ahead for a brief moment as you're pulling, as you see your friend Alex starting to gain purchase over you. You look over in your cockpit and you see the phase core system. There's a small switch, a toggle. You reach over and you flip the switch, and for a brief moment, the sight around you, around your cockpit, which was normal space, is now turned suddenly white. And for that brief moment, it's almost like you jumped ahead in time. You skip ahead forward about 20 feet or so feet in the right moment in order to beat Alex in this race. And over in the intercoms, you hear,
Yeah! That shivers! That shivers with the wind!
"What are you talking about, robot? How was supposed to be the one winning?" Alex, you hear over the intercom.
Yeah, I mean, I'm kind of like just so focused on like getting ahead and like beating him that I barely say anything until I get to the finish, I guess. I'm not a man who mocks when we're
I didn't think you'd pull out all the stops on me, Shivers. Some might call that cheating.
You see in your data pad, the app itself, where you placed your rager, the credits have been transferred into your account, the 20 credits.
Okay. And I reply, I was just like, you call it cheating, but I was only going at half speed, and I just want to make sure everything's working good since we have this big job coming up.
Well, don't say that I'm not a man of my word. I sent the credits. Hopefully, you could spend them on some drinks tonight, on you and me.
Yeah, the first round's on me. I'm
All
heading
right.
back.
Let's head back to Doc.
So both you and Alex and Tex get back to the docking bay of SS-74. Outside, before you essentially went back into the docking pad, you take a look at the spaceship. It's small, quaint, but it's yours. I guess it's your family in a sense, your new family. You take a moment to reflect as you approach the docking bay, and both you and Tex land onto the docking bay itself, and the mechanical arms once again slam into the feet of both your mobile suits, locking both of you into place. There on your LED in your cockpit, an LED display, the transmission, a button that says, enable docking procedure. You go ahead and click that.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, you press that button, and both of your mobile suits shoot down back into the docking bay. The various mechanical noises, and both you and I still want I keep wanting to say GOA because I wrote it, but both you and Tex. I'll
If you
get used
wanna
to it
do
next game.
GOA,
No, I don't like GOA. I like Tex better. It's just
Okay.
I keep reading it, so it's like it's throwing me off.
He honestly reminds me of the robot in New Vegas, and I love
Oh
it.
yeah, I know what you're talking about. The dude that you run into.
Mr. House, yeah.
Yeah.
Which, oh my God, his name's Mr. M.
Oh
didn't say
my
Mr.
God,
H.
got too many misters here. Well, in any case, both you and your friends they managed to get into the locking bay, and for the night, you guys recoup to yourselves, and in a night of merriment in lieu of the job that you have ahead of both of you. You want to spend the night? You want to do anything else?
Yeah. Is there like what else? Where else can I go on this ship?
Well, on the space station that you're currently on, there is the cantina, where where you just were, where the normal people kind of coalesce, and drink and have fun. There is the training deck, where you're able to do. It's like a hollow deck of sorts, where you're able to run essentially battle training engagements with no consequence to your health. These training systems aren't going to kill you.
Right.
You also have kind of like a mess of sorts, where a quartermaster and a mess where you could buy food and you could buy basic electrical gear, and it offers as essentially the general store of the space station itself. You also have the research deck, where it's ill-equipped currently. There are some scientists that are working in the bays themselves. They have some people that are looking into how to further improve your mobile suit, being as it is a prototype unit. There's not a lot of information on it as well, so the scientists have their hands full kind of studying your mobile suit at the research lab.
Right.
That's about it. And you also have the garbage area.
I think I want to head to the shop and see if there's anything I could stock on. Also, how many credits do I have now?
How many credits you got? So he gave you
Yeah.
20. You have about 120 right now.
120. Okay.
Mhm.
I didn't know if I wrote that down or not.
Nah, I haven't told you.
Yeah. So I want to go to the shop.
Sure. Your little friend Tex Atto following silently, and really only giving up his colorful commentary when he feels appropriate. In any case, both you and him say goodbye to Alex. Alex, he's there, and he starts talking with the bartenders, kind of like distracting himself for the rest of the evening as you say goodbye to him, and you head over to the general store of the space station itself. There are various goods for sale, health cores, for instance, that you're able to essentially work as health potions. You're able to buy that type of stuff, and there's various items that you may be able to buy as well. There's various knickknacks and electrical devices, lockpicks and whatnot, hacking mechanisms. Essentially, the person behind the counter itself, as you enter the general store, is a woman in silver hair. She's human. She doesn't have the elvish features that are telltale of a Zeonist. But she's standing behind the counter itself, kind of like sorting a box of nuts in various sizes, just putting them in order. She looks over to you. Oh, yes, yes. Hi, Shivers. Come, we just had a new stock. She goes behind the counter and pulls out a small box, and inside the box are these small vials of green viscous fluid. She opens it up and shows it to you. Each one glowing, small and bright. You know these as health cores. These you're able to connect to your mobile suit and to your data pad in order to inject you with essentially healing energy. The things are nano repair bots that are injected into your mobile suit for it to not only repair its systems, but to act as a essentially an AI in and of itself. You're able to connect it to your data pad as well that you have on you. Need be the case if, like, let's say you were to injure yourself and you're not being in your mobile suit, you're still able to use these cores by using the data pad, by releasing the nanorobots into the air and into the whatever injured part you have.
Okay. So I go, how much he's going for on the market?
Well, including the discount, that I'm giving you, about 8 gold a piece.
8 credits
Or
a piece?
8 credits a piece. I'm mixed between Dungeons and Dragons games. I'm sorry.
Trust me, I know. I wanted to.
Yeah, 8 credits a piece.
8 credits. And how many do you have?
She shows you the box, and inside the box itself, you count. There's about 10 in there.
10.
These themselves, though, are minor variety. The green, the small vials themselves are they're essentially small cores as opposed to larger cores. So they wouldn't heal you as much as a larger core would. These small cores, you would have to roll a 1d4 and add your constitution, and that's what you would heal back.
Right. So in like Dungeons and Dragons,
it'd be a minor. Yeah, it'd be a minor.
Yeah. All right. I'm gonna try to persuade her right now. Now, do you want me to roll my persuasion check, and then based on the roll, I'll do like
RP? You RP.
Just RP now.
Yeah, RP, and I'll call the rolls for you.
Okay. So I go. I'm sorry. What was her name again? I'm super bad at names if I don't write them down.
Her name is Fancy.
Fancy?
Yep.
I like that.
You see, she has silver hair. She's an older woman, and she has a monocle over her left eye. Her left eye, as you take notice, is cybernetic. There's a blue glow behind the iris itself.
All right, so I go. Now, Fancy, how long have I been coming to your shop? Whenever I need anything.
You've been here since you opened up the station itself. You're the one that hired me. You brought me up here to work for you guys.
Exactly. So I can't tell you what's going on, but I'm gonna be leaving the station for a little bit, and taking these will help me greatly on this next job that I'm about to do. And if you give me it for a little bit better of a price, I obviously won't forget you doing this for me.
All right, roll persuasion.
17.
Nice. You see, no, You've done so much for us in the station, both you and Alex and Mary. It's the least I could do. And you see her close the box. You could take it all. And inside the box itself has 7 cores. And you see her. You don't have to pay me anything. It's quite alright. For everything you've done, it's the least I could do.
Well, now, Fancy, I can't take these without giving you anything. And I go into my bag, or I go into my device, and I transfer 20 credits to her. And I say, I won't forget what you did here.
Of course, Shivers. Are you? Before you leave the store, she goes to the back. She comes out, and there she pulls out a small a picnic basket. It has a orange and red picnic blanket over it. She comes and says, "Here, I made some sandwiches for you. Perhaps these will act better than the slime rations that you're used to, being out in space and all."
Can I? All right, yeah, no, I'm just gonna trust her. But first, really quick, because I'm looking at the skills thing. Is there like a check to do to like I guess would it be investigation to kind of if there was like
I guess insight if you want to see if she's
lying.
Yeah, insight is that.
Insight. All right, cool. I'm not gonna roll it. But now it's good to know that that's what that is.
You can roll an insight if you want.
No. I trust her. I mean, she was literally just gonna give me these things for free. So I just say, well, Fancy, you're too kind. Honestly, since we brought you in, you've been very much like a mother to all of us, and I appreciate everything you do for not only me but everybody on this ship. And I take the basket and I just I go to leave and I say, I'll be seeing you around.
You see, she smiles and waves you off. You see Tex float over to her and she pats him on the head. He says,
Well, thank you, ma'am. That's mighty kind of you. I'm sure both me and Shivers are mighty appreciative.
Of course, Tex. You keep well. You keep Shivers safe.
I'll do my best, ma'am.
All right, both you and Tex, I guess, leave the general store. Do you want to buy anything else? I kind of like it. Stopped it before you did anything. My bad.
Yeah, I guess no, it's all good. Yeah, I guess like I'm trying to think. So I got pretty much 7 minor cure wounds potions.
Yep.
And I'm looking at the other stuff I have. I mean, I have thieves' tools. I have 100 ball bearings. I have string.
Do you have any rope? Maybe you could buy some rope.
I do have 10 feet of hemp rope.
Yeah, you're good. You good? If you have that.
Yeah.
What else do you think you need?
See, that's the thing. I don't know.
I don't know.
You know. I think I'm good.
What would a spaceman need in space?
Exactly. Like I don't think much because like my mobile suit is very much a melee unit. I get in and I dodge back. I mean, all right, so I have 20 arrows, which would be like missiles, I'm guessing, in terms of this. So I'm gonna ask, like, how much are the missiles?
Well, we'll treat the arrows themselves as like battery packs.
Okay.
That might be kind of cool. Because they shoot like I don't know. Do you want missiles or do you want lasers for your particular
you know what?
Mobile suit?
I'm gonna say he has lasers versus
All right.
missiles. That makes more sense.
That's cool. Yeah,
'Cause he
so
has
battery packs.
Yeah, so like he has that, like if you see on the logo, he has like that hand where like all 5 of his digits are like cannons almost.
Oh, cool.
So we'll say that that's where like the lasers shoot out.
Oh, sweet. I like that.
Uh,
Yeah, you could
yeah.
get battery packs. They're very cheap, about 1 credit a piece.
All right, I'm gonna buy. I'll buy 20 of those, so I'll give her
Alright.
a total of 40 credits.
Sounds good. Go ahead and mark that off on your. You know how to mark it off on your character sheet?
I have it in my notebook right here.
All right.
I don't know if there is a part for my money.
There is in.
I mean, I'm
Roll
sure there
20.
is, but
But as long as you're writing it down, we're good. Because I'm writing
Yeah.
it as well.
and then I'll just update that I have 40 arrows now, or 40 lasers now. All right, yeah, here I can just do whichever one of these. So I have 80 credits now. I did it on the gold, I'm guessing that is.
Sound good.
Let me add this. All right, so yeah, I'm gonna buy that, and then I'm gonna say pretty much what I told her before. We'll just play that out right now. That I said, thank you. Ever since she came forward, she's been like a mother to all of us.
Of course, and she does reciprocate those feelings. She has been like a mother to each and every one of you ever since you and both you and Alex and the other students of the Zeon ZDF force established the Crossbone Vanguard. You took her as essentially the general store leader and also morale chief. She every month she holds various costume contests and morale boosting things. She's looked upon favorably here in the station itself.
Mm-hmm.
And she gives you those battery packs wrapped up in a red bow. She hands it over to GA3, and miraculously, not GA3, Tex. She hands it over to Tex, and miraculously he's able to balance it on his orb-like head as he's floating around behind you. And he says to you,
Shivers, I'm gonna get this down to the mobile suit. I'll meet you in the crew quarters a little later on.
All right, I'm gonna head over to the canteen, catch up with Alex. I owe him a drink.
okay. You head over back to the cantina. There, at the right before you get to the entrance itself, you notice the name of the cantina. The name of the cantina itself is called the Outer Rim Cantina. You didn't come up with the name. Alex came up with it. He read a little bit too many science fiction novels, and I guess that's what he came up with. In any case, you get there, and Alex isn't there.
He's not here.
Nope. He seemed to have left.
All right, can I do a perception check to see who is here?
Sure. Go ahead and roll.
It's a 10 on the left side.
Okay. You see.
I'm sorry. Really, really quick, can you explain these numbers again to me? Because I have a 10 on the left side and then a 19 on the right.
So when it comes to advantage and disadvantage, there would be times where I'd be like, all right, you're going to roll with this for advantage. These two numbers that we give are essentially you rolling 2 times and taking the highest value. So for instance, this perception check that you just did, the 10 and the 19, if I asked for advantage, we would have done 19. If I would have asked for disadvantage, it would have been 10. But since I didn't ask for any of them, we're just going to take the left value.
All right, so essentially when I roll anything, there's two rolls. One for the purpose of if there's a disadvantage, then I take the lower, and if there's an advantage, I take the higher.
Yep.
All right, cool. understand now.
Yeah, we just have it this way, so you don't have to keep on rolling 20 when I call for advantage. We just haven't run into that yet.
Yep. No, I'm where
It's
I'm
more
right
it's more used towards in battle, especially since you're rogue too, since you're going to be getting a lot of advantage depending on your positioning and whatnot.
Mm-hmm.
You go to the cantina with that perception roll. You see, people are starting to clear out a bit. There's some stragglers and whatnot. Some people, new travelers that have come here. It's some merchants. Some you don't really know. As you get to the bar itself, you see and you turn at the entrance. You see odd-looking people. They have adorned these white coats. They look as if scientists. There's 2 of them, actually. There's one who is completely bald, with black, almost purple skin. He has his hands completely covered in white, the long white coat, as he slowly walks to the bar. Behind him is another person clad in white and white gloves. She has normal features. She's blonde and human. She has a small white hat that's akin to a researcher would wear. They approach the bar and call attention to the bartender. The man with purple skin sits at the bar silently as the other woman in the white coat orders for him.
Okay, and I'm guessing since I've lived here, I've never seen these people before.
You have never seen these people in your life. If you want, go ahead and roll. Just roll intellect.
Okay. Before I do that, can I pull out my my comm device and shoot Alex like a message saying I'm at the cantina?
Sure.
All right. I do that quick, and then I'm gonna do the insight, which is a 17.
I need you to roll just intellect, not insight.
Oh, intellect. I'm sorry. Where is intellect? Is that a skill?
It wouldn't be a skill. It's just if you look at your character sheet and you see your abilities, there's like strength and like agility or whatever. If you just click onto the name intellect, it would just roll it. Right now you're recalling something. You're remembering.
Do you mean intelligence?
Yes, intellect or intelligence. Yes.
All right, that's gonna be a 13, boss.
Okay. Yeah, these what they're adorned in are telltale signs of scientists. What a scientist would wear or a researcher. You send the text over to Alex. A few moments pass as you're standing at the bar itself, looking at these scientists from across the way. A message comes back from the phone itself. What did you text him?
I just said I'm at the cantina. Where you at?
It comes back. I'm just resting up for tomorrow. I hear the scientists are coming in the morning. I want to meet with them before we go out.
I'm gonna message him back saying, might seem that there's 2 of them here already.
You don't for a few moments you don't hear. There's no response to that. And suddenly, and then you hear it's read back. I'm on my way.
All right, I don't even reply back to him. I just put my device back into my pocket and I order a beer from the bartender.
Okay. The bartender itself is a robotic bartender. Right now, the shift of bartenders is changing. The normal person who runs the bar seems to have turned in for the day, and essentially the night shift has happened, and that's where this robotic bartender comes. He has a bow tie, and he pours you a beer. It's frothy, and it tastes good.
I keep my eye on these people, trying to see if there's anything I can figure out before eventually approaching them. Like if these are, people who are with Mr. M, or if they're just, anything, like if they're spies or something like that. It's peculiar to me that, like, Alex is telling me that there's this big job that's happening, and these, scientists are coming from the Earth Federation, and then two people who are obviously appearing as scientists are here already. But I'm gonna wait till Alex before I pursue anything.
Sure. So, you see them across from the bar itself. The blonde woman in the white hat, hands this small concoction to the purple man. The concoction itself has like foam, and it's almost like if you were to put dry ice into water. It's like a small foaming effect with this drink itself. You see him steadily bring it to his mouth, and he takes a long drink from it, puts it down. You don't recognize this drink as anything. It looks too elaborate for your tastes. You're used to a normal beer. But in any case, the blonde woman just sits silently beside the purple man, and pulls out a data pad and seems to be typing into the pad itself. You want to do anything else?
Here,
Here, let me set us up on the map. Okay. Right now at the map, as you can see, the purplish man is standing beside the blonde woman. You want to place yourself a little bit differently, or what?
Yeah, I like to be in where I was originally, which was like
okay.
here.
Like over here?
Yeah.
Sounds good.
I guess. Well, I did a perception check coming in, right?
Mm-hmm. You see that they're not dressed like the normal patrons of this cantina. They are dressed like researchers, scientists. One of them has dark purple skin. It's very unfamiliar to you. You've never seen a person with purple skin before. And also the woman, she's I guess let's for this picture, I don't have a blonde icon, but for a brunette, she's a brunette, and with the same scientist garb as the purple man is wearing, aside from the white hat. She's typing into a data pad as both of them are sitting at the bar itself. The purple man is drinking at a drink that is frothing at the top of it.
Okay, is there like a all right, so I never seen someone with this complexion before, but
Nope.
have I heard of people with this complexion before? Is there like a knowledge check I can do?
You could do an intellect. Actually, let me see here. There might be a thing for that. Otherwise, I think it might be intellect.
Okay.
Could be history. Yeah, you could do a history if you wish. You could either do an intellect or history. It's whatever you want.
History or intellect. I will do a. Where's? Or you mean insight?
No, I mean intelligence. I'm saying intellect, intelligence. I'm sorry.
It's all right. All right, I'll do a history check.
Sure.
Ooh,
Oh,
natural 1.
yeah.
I know
I
nothing.
don't know. It almost looks like a cartoon character to you. This purple-skinned man. You've never heard of it before. Never seen it before.
All right, so I'm kind of perplexed, and I'm kind of
Very alien-looking as well. He looks over his shoulder for a brief moment, and you can see his eyes are a steady red, where his white cornea should be. What do you call the white parts of an eye?
is that the pupil is the color, right?
Yeah, the pupil and the iris are the middle part. But like, well, in any case, with this guy, he has a normal iris, but the white parts themselves are like a dark, dull red.
Okay. So I'm like very perplexed by this person, and I'm almost kind of I know nothing. So I know once Alex gets here, I'm gonna ask him if like someone of this description is with Mr. M. But now I'm gonna turn my focus on the woman that's with him. If there's any type of signs that I can see that she is from Earth Federation.
You could roll perception.
Perception, all right. 13.
As she turns to you, you actually do see an emblem that's emblazoned on her uniform. The emblem is of the Zeon Federation.
Okay. I immediately get cautious and kind of move my pistol in a very like ready position to draw it.
All right. You kind
and now
you angle your body to where it's a little bit easier for you to draw your weapon. It need be the case.
I'm going to I'm kind of like put my head down almost and wait for Alex to get here.
And you don't have to wait too long, as you look over to the entrance of the bar itself, and you see Alex enter the bar. You see him briefly talk to the security guard, and the guard kind of lets him through. And he pushes by one of the patrons and stands next to you, and he says to you, "Yeah, what's this?" And he looks over to the other side of the bar and sees the two scientists. Here, let me roll. Who are those guys?
I kind of like quiet him down a little bit, and I say, I've never seen anyone like the man before, but the woman has Zeon insignia on her jacket.
Those must be the other part of the research team. Must have come here a little earlier. You see him, he pushed by you and starts to approach them. You want to stop him in any way?
Yeah, I'm gonna like pull him back down.
All right, you pull him back to the bar itself. Let's just we're just gonna talk to him.
And I'm gonna say, Zeon? I thought you said we're working with Earth Federation.
Well, it's that's the thing. It's a conjoint research mission between Zeon and Earth Federation. And part of the reason why they even considered hiring us is because we have history with them. I don't know if they'll be able to recognize you. I know that they won't recognize me. I made a big effort into changing my appearance. You see, and he touches the side of his face, where a long scar is connected to his nose scar. He has extensive facial surgery in order to change his features.
I kind of pull him close and I say, you do realize if they know I'm here, if they know I'm alive, they will drag me back kill me? Do you know how many people I killed getting out of there with the O1? We can't work for them. I thought you said this was Earth Federation, not no Zeon job.
It's $2 million. 2 million credits.
They're offering that too?
Well, somebody is. The Earth Federation, they're the ones paying. And if they're coming along too for the ride, well, we just gotta buckle down and make sure they don't recognize us.
Now, Mr. M, he's Earth Federation, right?
Yep. He's supposed to be here. And he looks over in his watch. He looks over his watch. He's supposed to be here in about 6 or so hours.
So you're telling me that we have 2 bidders for this ship, essentially.
As far as I know, this ship came into our space miraculously from the thin of air itself. Of course, these 2 factions are going to fight over this technology. I guess this is the agreement they came down to. Else there'll be another war. Nobody wants that.
No, not at all. Can I do a perception check to kind of see if they have any weapons on them?
Sure. Go ahead and roll perception.
11.
It's a little hard to see. You'd think you notice a bulge in the back of the purple man's small of his back. The woman looks like she's not armed.
All right, so let me ask you this: how noticeable are my ears? Like that they were cut off. Like
Well, you have
points?
long hair, right?
Yeah.
You make a great effort to hide your ears, in your dark blue hair.
And let me ask you this: how like notorious am I? And like what did I look like when I left the Zeon Empire?
Well, before you had shorter hair, almost buzz cut, which was the prerequisite of being inside of the Xenon army. You know, they had a dress code, and you had to adhere to that. Buzz cut. You had long ears, and essentially, you look no other than your long hair and your newly cut ears. I don't know if you put any effort into changing your appearance. You want to talk about that? Let's talk about how infamous your character is supposed to be. You stole this prototype suit, essentially under a training, or essentially a test build or a test of sorts. You stole it while they were undergoing a test, and in the meanwhile, you did kill soldiers and some researchers in your escape and rescue of your friend Tex.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, I guess since then, you know, obviously I cut the points of my ears off and tried to make them as round as could be. I grew my hair out to cover any scars. I didn't do any like, you know, plastic surgery or anything like that, but
yeah, really it was Alex who went above and beyond with the plastic surgery, because he completely, like, he changed his nose, his jawline. He's unrecognizable to how you remember him back in the academy days.
Right. So I'm gonna say that literally the only thing I've done is shaved my ears off and grew my hair out. So, but like I want to say that, like, you know, I wasn't like, you know, such a notoriety before before I helped with the coup. Like I wasn't like, you know, such a crazy standout that everybody was praising me while I was in, like, you know, boot camp of the Neon Zeon faction. So literally all I have is my hair to cover up my scars of my ear, which you can tell me how noticeable that is. If people could see my plain ears and know that, like, oh, he was an elf, but he chopped his ears off.
There have been some deserters from Zeon during the war on both the Earth Federation and Xenon sides. It's so there have been people who have cut off their ears before. There have been known to be ear cutters. That's kind of like the derogatory term on the Xenon planet, or rather in Jupiter atmosphere. There, you're able to. What was the question? I'm sorry, I lost track of thought.
No, you're good. I guess my question is, like, how noticeable are my ears if they're exposed?
If you have your hair down low and you're making an effort to not expose your ears, you look like any other human.
All right.
You look like any other civilian of the Earth Federation.
All right, then I'm going to allow Alex to approach them.
All right. You see Alex turn from you and walk towards the two scientists, and he stands there, just kind of like surveying the two. I just had some weird deja vu. He's looking at the two scientists. They both look up to him. The man in purple skin, he betrays no emotion. He shows him nothing, just stares at him blankly as the blonde woman turns to him. She's kind of like rambling to herself. She's obviously very nervous. How can I help you? She puts down her data pad onto the bar itself. Yes, are you the scientists from Zeon? Yes,
Can
yes.
I just say that my hand's on my pistol too, like ready if anything happens, but obviously like hidden. Ooh.
The purple man, he looks behind the shoulder of Alex, seeing you as you're motioning behind the gun at your back. You see him and his white gloved arm slowly move to his back as well, kind of matching your movements. He's not taking his eyes off you. Yes,
Okay.
yes, we're from Zeon. We're here to join the research detachment from Earth Federation. And you're early. Yes, we know we're early. That's we had to leave a little earlier than what was proposed due to the the infighting that we have in our government currently. There's a lot of chaos going on, and you see her. She's kind of like rambling to herself about this, and Alex doesn't really seem interested in what she's saying. He's more just concerned about why they're here early.
Whew.
Well, I was told by the Earth Federation that you would be showing up in about 6 hours along with them, their detachment. You showing up a little early is a little worrisome for me. I'm not too fond working with Zeon. And yes, I know that the Zeon doesn't have the greatest reputation nowadays, but since Xenostar has showed up, is maybe this is an opportunity for both our governments to I guess unite in something new. This is amazing. We haven't heard from the Xenostar in over 300 years. course. I just would have liked a heads up first before you start showing up in the blue. Alex turns to you, and he sees your arm approaching your gun, and he looks to you and he kind of like shakes his head. No.
I like open my palm and kind of slowly bring it back to the side of my body.
You see the purple man. He still has his arm, his hand at the bump at his back, that readying position. He doesn't ease his movements. He's almost stone, like a statue, still eyeing you down. His dark red eyes.
Mm-hmm.
She, the woman, yes, my name is Emma, and your name? Alex. This is my partner here. He looks over to you. It's my partner here, James. And we're the ones here to hire, escort you researchers. She looks over to you and she kind of smiles nervously. She's beautiful. She's a young lady, with brunette hair, good upkeeping. She looks over to the purple man. Smith, please, Smith. There's no need for hostilities. She puts her arm on the purple man's white gloved hand, and he relaxes and turns back to his drink, still frothing.
Okay.
Is
So
there-
can I make like the assumption that this guy is kind of like just a bodyguard for her?
Hey, this guy's big enough to be it. He's he's sitting down right now, but you can tell that if he were to stand up, he'd stand up to around 6'4". He's a giant of a man. His muscles are seemingly bulging out of the scientist outfit that he's currently wearing. It seems out of place for what he is.
Okay. Cool.
Please excuse my companion, Smith. He's essentially a guardian from our government to make sure that, well, there's no problems. Is there anything you need from us? We figured we'd come to the cantina just to relax for a little bit. We've had a long journey. From SS-74 to Jupiter itself, it's about 4 days of space travel.
Mm-hmm.
Earth Federation has the luxury, being from Venus, to be closer to the station itself. It's about 2 days travel. But in any case, they're on their way. They should be arriving more or less soon, 6 hours from now. Or do you want to? What do you want to do? You want to ask them any questions, or do you want to leave them be? Get ready for tomorrow.
So these people are the Zeon, right?
Yes, they're essentially the research detachment sent from Zeon. The mission that both Alex accepted for both you and him were to take both of these research detachments from Earth Federation and Zeon into neutral space, into neutral space to meet with the Xenostar ship, which is about a day or so's journey from your current position. You know
Okay.
the neutral space to house other pirates that are not as organized as you. It's essentially a no law territory. So that's essentially why they hired you, or for you to assume that.
Okay. And I guess they would have to roll like a perception check on me to know that who I am, or am I completely like disguised? Like, am I like literally the only people who know who I am are like the people from Earth Federation, like Mr. M.
I would say the only people that would know you were to be the people that were affiliated with ZDF. Um, you having stolen the prototype is an embarrassment to to Zeon, so they wouldn't broadcast that to normal media services. So normal people wouldn't recognize you. You're kind of like a secret, um, and essentially to when it comes to the military itself, because you stealing the prototype is a big embarrassment, and security concern that the local government, the populace would not be okay with.
Okay.
So,
All right. Cool.
that being said, your face hasn't been broadcast. It hasn't been. There's no like wanted poster for you.
All right.
There's only certain people who would recognize you.
All right. Then I'm going to step up and kind of ask this girl. So, what's your business with the ship? What do you want it for?
So you see her almost like her eyes grow twice their size with amazement and wonder. The Xenostar has been gone for 300 years. And where it went is the biggest mystery that we currently have as humankind. And be given the opportunity to solve that, to figure out truly where it went, and it's just amazing. We've originally sent some hails to the ship itself, but we haven't heard any type of transmission. That's why, Zeon sent me and Smith here. She motions over to her purple friend to go and and see for ourselves what the ship is, and perhaps even board it. And hopefully the crew is still around.
Hopefully the crew is still around. What kind of crew was on the ship? It's been 300 years. Do you expect any living being to still be alive?
Well,
Or was it made by...
I'm optimistic about it, but if I were to guess, maybe some sort of spatial anomaly took them somewhere, a black hole, perhaps, something our ancestors haven't accounted on. But for them to be alive, they would be living history, and it would be an amazing thing to uncover for us as a human species, not as a Zeonists or Earth Federation, but as humans.
Right, but obviously the ship is going to contain a lot of information about, the stars beyond ours.
That's what we hope to find out. And we would be sharing this information with Earth Federation. Go on, roll insight. Roll insight.
That is a 21. Natural 20.
Ooh! Very nice. For something of this gratitude, and not gratitude, where are the words? I wish I had a thesaurus in my brain, bro. This something of this magnitude, for a ship 300 years old, for suddenly to show up in neutral space, people would want more than just for historical curiosity. There's something alien must have taken this ship somewhere, and you think that that's what she's after, or at least that's what the Zeon would be after. Not everyone in this universe is as good as they show themselves to be.
Right, so I know that they have kind of almost like ill intentions with the power to almost...
I wouldn't say ill intentions, but they have ulterior motives when it comes to the ship itself, and she's not giving away to it. She's kind of hiding under the disguise as this is being a miracle, a technological and historical miracle.
All right, so I'm gonna reply to what she said, and I'm gonna say, were you born there? Within the Zeon Federation? Are you a true Zeon?
You see, she lifts her hat up, exposing her ears she has tucked in. I know my fellow Zeonists are looked down upon out in here and away from Zeon itself, but yes, I've been born on that planet. I am a Xenon as well. A Zeonist.
So then you know what they stand for. And you know that any advantage with them could spark another war between you and the Earth Federation.
That's always the possibility, isn't it? And I assure you, I don't want any conflict between Earth Federation and Zeon. This is truly an amazing thing that we are witnessing in the historic event. I just hope that whatever we find on the Xenostar, we'll be able to collaborate on and effectively bring this information to both our governments, and we could use it to find some commonality between the both of us and end this conflict once and for all. Sign a treaty, end the ceasefire.
Well, it's admirable to hear that that's what you want. But as being, a part of the neutral zone, I very much know how the people in power of the Zeon treat information. They almost disregard your science and your advice, where they see red and want only to conquer and rule the galaxy.
You see her eyes fall down to the ground as you talk of this. She's deeply ashamed of what her people have brought onto the galaxy. I just wish that things would have been better between our two people. You're from Earth Federation, correct?
No. I'm a child of the stars, born out here in the neutral zone. I show no loyalty to either the Earth Federation or the Zeon Empire.
So I guess that's why they hired you. For your affiliation, you're away from the politics of the Earth Defense Force and Zeon.
Seems like that. But I do understand and know what both sides are capable of doing. And I know what kind of effects that any war would have on this space station and in my people. But if you can give me my word, or give me your word, that your intentions are just and for the betterment of all humanity, then I have no ill will towards you. And
She reaches out and she grabs at your hand. Her hand is gloved, but you can still feel the warmth behind it. She shakes it firmly. She says, I promise you, I am doing this for the betterment of both our people, for all of humans. This is something big, bigger than all of us.
I agree.
Roll one more insight.
Okay. A 10.
You can trust that she means what she's saying.
Okay. I'm gonna say I agree and understand that whatever is on this ship could have such a lasting effect on either the Earth Federation or the Zeon Empire. And knowing that you want the best for all humanity is a warm welcome from your kind. As me and Alex here have dealt with many of you, I just would like to see, and I motion to Alex and I say, are they going to meet Mr. M as well?
We can set it up to where we can meet Mr. M beforehand, before them, but I see like they're gonna be working together. I don't see how they're not gonna meet him.
All right. And I look back at her and I'll say, then we'll see how you interact with Earth Federation. And I look at the purple guy and I go, your security, if you will, with his little bulge in his back, as if he doesn't know that I know what he's carrying. And I look at him and I say, if you really mean well for humanity, leave that out of the meeting with Mr. M.
Roll perception.
11.
He doesn't turn to you, the purple man, but you do hear the faint whirrings of gears and clickings, as if a machine were operating.
Okay. So
Now, if the woman Emma looks to both of you. Now, gentlemen, if you were to excuse both me and Smith, we're gonna turn in for the evening.
I kind of like step away from Alex, giving them a path to walk.
Smith stands up and closely follows the beautiful brunette as she leaves the cantina, leaving both you and Alex at the bar itself. This is bullshit. I wasn't expecting them to show up now.
Yeah, it's kind of odd that they show up early to a meeting. Usually whenever that happens, it's always trouble followed. And I mean, we obviously know the true intentions of the Zeon Empire. We can't trust them.
Yeah, I'm not gonna trust that flowery, oh, we, mankind, humankind bullshit. It's always money. It's always money or power. And Zeon always wants both.
Exactly.
I'm telling you. This spaceship shows up, they think it has another acquisition. They just want to come over here and steal it. And you know what? Earth Federation probably doing the same shit too. But you know what? I don't care. You know what? Me and you, we don't care. Because we are going to get paid 2 million credits for an easy job, taking a couple of eggheads across the neutral zone. And that's it.
Well, Alex, I think we would be wise to, once we get on that ship, really find out what the payload is. 2 million credits is a lot of money, sure. But if either the Earth Federation or the Zeon Empire take control of this whole galaxy, there's no telling that they can just come and wipe us out. I almost think we should treat it as we are the owners of this ship. And if whatever cargo is on board is going to be powerful enough to teeter this scale, we might be wise to keep it for ourselves.
And with that, he nods in agreement. Whatever it is, Shivers, I'm with you. And he starts to leave the cantina itself. Only this time, try to make it there, make it to the meeting in time. I don't want to have to call you again. He leaves the cantina and he leaves you there. The cantina has essentially emptied out. There are some patrons there. The robotic bartenders are still pouring them some drinks. The police have changed their shifts.
Okay.
What do you want to do?
I'm gonna have a drink, and then so let me get this right. Mr. M and his crew are coming here in a few hours and not tomorrow.
They're coming in a few hours, which is essentially tomorrow. Okay. The span of the day that you went through today, through the course, racing and coming back to the cantina, go to general store. It's like the span of like a whole day's worth. The rendezvous was set for Earth time 0600.
Okay.
It's about midnight now.
All right, I'm just gonna have one more drink, and then I'm gonna head back to my pod to do a light rest. What is the difference between light rest and a long rest?
Long rest is you recuperate all your spells and whatnot, and certain feats require you to do long rest. Long rest normally consists of about 12 hours. I'll let you do long rest now, just because. Essentially, if you're going to a place and you're sleeping somewhere in a bed for a long time, that's a long rest. So, you take that the last shot. Makes you a little dizzy, but makes you feel good too, in the same motion. But in any case, you go back to your quarters, to your pod. There you see your small text friend, your small Haro, charging in his bay next to your pod itself. He's currently deactivated, and you see that his charge bar is currently filling up with energy. Mm-hmm. You go back into your pod. You check your messages for the night itself as well, and you find that you have no messages. It's a clean night, and you rest up. You set an alarm for 6 a.m. Or rather for 5:30, or give you enough ample time to get ready before the meeting itself.
Right.
Alex told you that the meeting is going to be taking place in the docking bay. He asked for you to be there. He's going to meet with Mr. M and one of his associates.
All right,
well, so not one of the associates, but another researcher. The group itself, I guess their deal was to send 2 researchers, essentially Mr. M and another person. You haven't been introduced yet, and you met the other 2 researchers from Zeon, Smith and Emma.
Okay.
Do you want? Oh, what's that?
I'm guessing since we're gonna meet them in the docking bay, we're gonna be there for when they like actually land.
Yep.
Okay, cool.
This Alex wastes no time, man.
That was my only question. If I was interrupting you.
Sounds good. So you go to you want to do anything else, or are you going to go sleep?
I'm just gonna go to sleep since it's like already
It's about
midnight.
1
or whatever.
o'clock. Yeah, it's pretty
1
late.
o'clock.
You set the alarm. You sleep you have is pretty restless. For some reason you can't find the sleep that's calling to you. You do have a dream though. You have visions of fiery blasts, of people screaming, of anguish. You see from a distance in front of you, behind embers of flame and smoking, the body of an old man walking towards you. His figure slowly turning ablaze as he steps into the fire. You try to scream out, and you wake up in the pod itself. The 6 a.m. beep 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 beep. You are now awake. You want to get ready for the interview? I mean, for the meeting.
Yeah. Yeah, I kind of like, obviously I'm kind of shaken and disturbed by the dream I had, considering, the events that taken place the night before. But that
Sure.
doesn't.
Go ahead and roll roll an intellect for me, please.
Okay. It's going to be a 4.
Man, you have no idea about these dreams. You've been having them lately. Images of people in flames walking towards you. You have no meaning. You can't ascertain any type of meaning towards it. They have left you though, just in sweat every time you've come to from those nightmares.
All right. So like I'm like still kind of shaken and like I'm very like peculiar, like wondering why I'm having all these like crazy dreams and these like vivid imagery. But still, like I know, I'm signed on for a job, so I have to get my shit together and
Yeah, you just
cleaned
buckle up.
and- yeah. So I kind of like push that off to the side and like do what I need to do to be presentable, and I head to the docking bay to meet Alex.
You're greeted in the docking bay by Alex. He's changed into a new uniform, all black with a flight mask on, only revealing essentially the eyes behind his massive flight helmet. He has the visor flipped open. He's there standing against a rail waiting for one of the massive transport ships to finish docking. He notices you approaching him, and he waves you over. You're docking now.
Well, time to look alive.
Mm-hmm. Do you have your flight gear on too?
No, I'm gonna be more so in my like civilian clothes, if that's like
Sounds good.
Just...
That sounds good. Right now, Alex, he more or less has his flight gear on. Aside from the fighter helmet that he have, the visor's flipped open. He,
okay.
For what you could tell, he did this so he could appear more intimidating to whoever he's going to be speaking to.
Yeah.
Given that the flight suit that he's wearing is very imposing looking for a flight suit.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna say this, like my perception of this whole thing is that like the Earth Federation obviously knows who I am, since they said that they hired us because we have ties to the Zeon Empire. So
Well,
I'm kind of just like, go ahead.
well, let me clarify that a little bit.
Okay.
It was Alex who accepted the job, and he accepted the job given that he had ties with the Zeon. He told them, I have ties with Zeon, and I have people who I could bring on who have ties as well. They don't necessarily know you specifically.
Okay. Okay, so they know who Alex is, but they have no recollection of who I am, pretty much.
Exactly.
All right. All right.
Essentially, you yourself, you're kind of like Zeon's dirty secret. Only the top officials, military leaders, know about what you did and stole the prototype. And maybe even people like you killed people in order to get the prototype to escape. Maybe you've run into family who've been affected by that. But in any case, the people who would recognize you are only like the top dudes.
Gotcha.
The
So
generals.
they pretty much didn't even promote the idea that I stole this crazy weapon, because if
No,
doing so, it would make them look so weak.
exactly.
All right, cool.
They were fearing that that would be used as propaganda, used against them, essentially to turn the populace of Zeon against them. And they're already unruly there. They're living under an authoritarian government. They have a dictator there. Her name is... I don't have her name. Well, in any case, they're being run by like a dictatorship. The people, there's unrest all the time in Zeon, but because of their disregard of human pleasures and life, they were able to make the technological bounds that they made, inventing the mobile suit.
Mm-hmm. All right, cool. Yeah, so I'm still in my maybe civilian gear isn't the best. Like I'm wearing just like jeans and maybe like a leather jacket that kind of like shows that I'm kind of like a pilot jacket, if you will. But
All right.
I'm not in my my mobile
Your flight
suit.
suit.
Yeah.
I get you. All good. The massive ship finishes docking, and the landing pad slowly opens, revealing an elderly man with silver hair, short. His ears and forehead have been completely replaced with mechanic and robotic machinery. The only human features he has is his face, his mouth, and his silver hair. His two eyes are two different colors, a golden and a silver. He has a white research gown on, akin to the scientist from Zeon, and behind him is another robotic figure, similar to Tex himself, a Haro. Only this one is red, and it's just slowly floating behind the man clad in white. He notices Alex, and he waves over to him, and you see he closes his eyes in a smile. Hello, Alex! Of course! And you see Alex. He doesn't give any. He doesn't reciprocate the friendliness that the robotic older gentleman exudes as the gentleman is approaching both you out and Alex. You see Alex with his arms crossed. He looks over to the old man. Oops. Alex, Alex. And you see, he's trying to call the attention of Alex. He looks over to you and he says, "Well, this is Mr. M." "Oh, it was good to see you. Good to see you, my friend." And he reaches and he grabs Alex's hand, pulling him from the cross arm that he had. Slightly annoyed, he's like, we spoke to the other researchers. They showed up earlier. It's funny how you failed to tell us that they arrived early. I have no control over Zeon and the researchers. I wasn't the one who put this joint research operation together. It was our government. I had nothing to do with it. Yeah, of course. Did you bring the money? Alex, we've been through this. You would get the money once the job is done. I thought you prided yourself as being a businessman, a man of honor. You see Alex, he just closes his visor. I'll be ready in this fighter jet whenever you're ready to go, James. We'll speak about this later. He motions to you and walks away, leaving both you and the elderly robotic gentleman in your presence. You see, he turns to his red Haro, who's floating beside him.
Now,
Are
oh, go ahead. Sorry.
Are you the other pilot that Alex was speaking of? James, was it?
Yeah. My name's...
Yes, well, I appreciate you joining the job as well. But I assume that $2 million offers a great incentive for both of you and your cohorts. And he looks around the docking bay and he looks at the disheveled engineers you have there. They're not wearing any type of uniform or anything. You know, they're just normal dudes with engineering jobs.
Right. Yeah, so I'm gonna go.
Yeah, go.
2 million credits will be insightful for anyone. My question for you, though: what's so important about the ship to you and Earth Federation?
Well, let's see. I don't see why I have to tell you. You're just the person hired to escort us, correct? What does a mercenary have to know about the inner workings of statuses that he's not capable of even comprehending?
Well, you're right about mercenary. And if I was bad at my job, I wouldn't think nothing about the price you're giving us. But since I'm good at my job, 2 million credits almost seems like a job that we might not even make it out of. Therefore, you don't even have to pay us. So, for this price tag, and forgive me if I'm being rude, but I would like to know a little bit more about your intentions with what's on this ship.
All right, roll persuasion.
Persuasion, all right. That is a big old 13.
Oh. $2 million credits? That's just a drop in the bucket for Earth Federation. You see, with this ship, we're gonna be able to create amazing things. things that Zeon. Oof. You'll see. And you see a creepy smile comes across his face, and he starts to writhe his hands, almost salivating at the idea of obtaining the technology from this ship.
So I'm gonna say, you know, what do you expect that's on this ship? I mean, we're obviously, both me and Alex are going to dock and make sure there's no threats on this ship. But if there are threats, you know, certain things could be damaged. So is there anything that I need to know?
I was not aware that both you and Alex were allowed to enter the ship. I'm not sure that was part of the deal.
Well, I mean, it's coming back. I mean, who's to say that there's not a gang of marauders on this ship? Just using it as a Trojan horse to infiltrate the Earth Federation, or worse, my people here. I think it's almost standard policy that we go in and make sure it's only on a autopilot course back to our solar system.
Okay, roll persuasion.
Okay. Going to be a 20.
Ooh! You do bring up an interesting point of view. I am not the most combat-oriented person. I could be persuaded to allow both you and Alex onto the ship.
Well, I almost think it's a necessity. Because if this ship is returning, and like I said, it could be filled with marauders, knowing any type of information that the ship carries, it could be a very bad situation for either you guys at the Earth Federation or the Zeon Empire.
You see him just like